In this video, I'll be talking about design pattern. What is design pattern? Why we need design pattern? And is it mandatory to use design pattern or not? Is it recommended? And why it is recommended to create or develop any kind of software application? Hello everyone, my name is Pulkit. Let's start this video. Design patterns are the well-proved solution to develop any kind of software application. It is not related to any kind of language. You can have the design pattern or use the design pattern to create any application irrespective of the language used. Whether it is Java language or .NET or Python or any other programming language. It is not mandatory to use design pattern, but it is very recommended by the experienced developer to create any software application, because based on their experiences they have created some patterns which will increase the productivity in a longer run. For an instance, if we create or develop any application in future with some enhancement or modification or some changes, it can be the complex application or the large scale application in the future. So in future, if you want to add any functionality to the existing functionality, then it will be very easy to add new functionality to the existing application. So based on its pattern, based on its features, it is categorized into 3 categories. Let's see what all 3 categories are there. The first is creational design patterns. Guys, the creational design patterns deal with the creation of objects. We sometimes require to create the complex objects. We can have a complex application, the large scale application in which we are supposed to create the complex objects. So there are also different types under the creational object to create an object. So it is basically to create an object. The second design pattern is a structural design pattern. The structural design pattern deals with the structure of the application. If in case you want to create or update the part of a structure of an application, then it should not change the entire structure of an application. So in order to do so, we have to create our application, develop our application using these design patterns. So under this design pattern, there are also different types that will be used to create an application. Third category is the behavioral design pattern. In behavioral design patterns, how the objects are interacting with the other objects. Basically, this design pattern deals with the interaction of objects, and that too being loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means being independent to the other objects. So all the objects in the application are being independent how they are having interaction with other objects. There are also different types under the behavioral design patterns that will be used to create the application. Let's have an example. Let's suppose I want to have an IT firm. I want to create an IT firm in which I have created different departments. Let's say the first department is financial department, second department is IT department, third department is HR department, fourth department is sales department. Now creating these departments, that means I'm creating, let's assume that this IT firm is my application. Assume it. And and all these departments is the structure of my application. Right? We assume the application IT firm as an application and each department, all the department as a structure of my application. Now for each department, I have to hire many people based on their skills. Let's suppose in financial department, I have to hire some people who has some financial skills, financial background. On IT department, I have to hire some developer. In HR department, I have to hire some HR professional. In sales department, I have to hire the people with the skills in sales and marketing. Right? So for each department, I have to hire the employees, hire the people based on their skills, based on their capabilities. Now assuming it in a programming language, for each department I'm creating an object. I'm creating an object based on their attributes, based on their features. Right? An object can have different attributes. Some can be optional attributes, some can be mandatory. For example, in an IT firm, in an IT department, I want to hire a developer. For example, I want to hire a developer as a full stack developer. But in a full stack developer, the mandatory attribute is it should be a Java developer. And the optional attribute would be it should have a knowledge, it can have a knowledge on the front end side. So the mandatory part is it should be mandatorily be the Java developer. And the optional is if it's good to have the front end developer, the front end knowledge. So in each department, I can have the object with some mandatory attributes as well as some optional attributes, and there are different ways to create an object. Now coming back to our design patterns, how we are creating an object in each department that come under the creational design pattern. How we are creating this structure, that means the department in our application come under the structure design pattern. And how each object interacting with each other, right? How the people of each department, every department interacting with the people of another department, how they are interacting with the other department, that is the interaction that is going on, how the object are interacting with other object that come under the behavioral design pattern. And the whole application is our application. So that's it for this video, guys. In the subsequent videos in my playlist, I'll be creating more videos on each category of this design pattern. I'll be covering up all the types of the creational design patterns, of structural design patterns, as well as the behavioral design pattern. So that's it. See you in the next video, guys.